Whenever I'm doing hollow forms, many times I'll use these homemade glue blocks, and you can actually use these for bowls as well if you choose not to use a chuck. Very inexpensive to make, very easy to make. What I did, I just laminated 3 pieces of oak together. I drilled my hole, and then I got this tap from Craft Supply USA, and it matches the threads of my lathe, and I just tap the threads into it. This will mount right onto my lathe, and every time it's going to be true. So if you choose not to use chucks for your bowls or hollow forms, this would be a cheap alternative to be able to achieve the same thing. Now this is the glue block that I will normally always keep. This is my waste block that I'll have. I do have a hole drilled in it, so I can put my pry bar in it to get this off the lathe. But after I turned my last piece and I cut it off, this surface here is normally very rough and uneven. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to true that up and sand it down to where I have a flat surface. That way the next time I do a glue up, it'll be ready for it. What I'm doing here is just taking light little scraping cuts. I'll just check this, get it close. I like to lay my gouge, the body of my gouge up against it, and that shows me any low spots or high spots, what I need to work on. I'll just take a pencil, put some witness marks on that, and then I'm ready to sand it flat. Now I have seen people take a piece of sandpaper, glue it to a piece of wood, and hold that up there. Now you can do that, but if you happen to put a little bit too much pressure on one side, you can get it, concaved if you're having a bad day and things just aren't working well for you. But I've got kind of a solution that I feel is pretty easy and gives you a perfect flat surface every time. Now I've got a piece of plywood and I've double-sided taped some sandpaper to that. And what I do, I have the height here to where this is basically about my center, to where I'm going to get some use out of both sides of this. So I'll place this up against here. Let me turn my speed down before I get started. And I'll take my tailstock, back off the pressure a little bit. Make sure you can see. I'll back the pressure off till I have a little bit of space there. And then I'll turn my lathe on and I'll slowly take this in to where it'll start sanding that surface. I have a perfectly flat piece of plywood, so it's going to give me a perfectly flat surface for my glue block. Let's turn on some dust collection and show you how this works. Now you can see I have a nice flat surface that I can glue my next project to.